today I'm gonna play my game, which is called this game. I'm gonna play a game that's called Abby's School Project. So I made this game by myself by making my own background. So let me first show you the game. Okay, let's play the game. Hi, my name is Mr. Ball. I will tell you how to play the game. Click on the girl Abby to start the story. Hi, my name is Mr. Ball. I will tell you how to play the game. Click on the girl Abby to start the game. Okay. I'm gonna start this again. Hi, my name is Mr. Ball. I will tell you how to play the game. Click on the girl Abby to start the story. I clicked on her. Oh! I have to complete my project to send to teacher. Click on the right arrow to go to the neighborhood. Now you have to click on her house. Her house is the purple one. You have to click on the house. Click on the green button to start the project. Oh, the project was already done. Tap the green button to send the project. She had to make this very beautiful. The theme was space. So she had to make this planet a city, like a space world planet. Click on the gray button to send the thing. You have finished the game. Hooray! Now I will tell you how I made this. Okay, I will show you this thing. How I made this.
Hi everyone, it's Zoe from the Scratch team, also known as Zinnia. Today I wanted to show you how to make a virtual town in Scratch. By the end of this video, you'll be able to make a game like this one, where you can design your own town with your own characters in it and your own locations, where the player can walk around and talk to different characters. You can use this to make your own story or your own open world game, or really anything you want. So yeah, let's get started. So first, let's pick a character to be the main character of the project, the one that will walk around. I'll just hover over Choose a Sprite and click Choose, and you can pick any character you want. I think I'll pick Jordan. Now let's add a background. You could click this button that says Choose a Background if you want to pick one of the backgrounds that are already in Scratch, but you might want a top-down background, so a background that's viewed from above. Let me show you how to draw one of those really easily. So just hover over Choose a Background and click Paint. And here's what I'll do. I will click on the rectangle tool, and then I'll set the color to green, and then I'll drag a rectangle that fills the whole stage. And now I'll draw a path across the grass. So I'll click on the paintbrush tool, and I'll set the color to an orange color, and then decrease the saturation slider. So that makes it like a faded orange or a brown. And then I will set the paintbrush size to something really big, like 100. And then I'll just scribble with the paintbrush, and yeah. There you go, that's a path. Okay, so now we have a really simple top-down background of a part of a town. Next, let's add a character for the player to talk to. So again, I'll just hover over Choose a Sprite and click.
That's what I did. I made a background by myself.
Choose. You can pick any character that you want to be in your town. I think I'll pick the unicorn. Let's make it so this character can talk. I'll go to the looks category and drag out a say block. And you can just click that to have the character say something. You can write whatever you want in here. And let's make the character talk when we click on it. So to do that, I'll go to the events category and drag out a when this sprite clicked block, which is good for making something happen when you click on a sprite. So now when I click on the unicorn, it says hello. So that's how you can add a character you can talk to. Now, let's make the player be able to walk between multiple different locations. So let's draw a couple more backgrounds for our town. So I'll hover over, choose a backdrop, and click Paint again. And now you get to think, what do you want to be here at this location in your town? I think I'll make there be a house here. So I'll make another green rectangle to be the grass. And then let me show you my extremely simple way of drawing a house. I will set the color to brown and draw a rectangle. And then I will pick a different shade of brown and draw another rectangle on top, and then pick a different brown color and make a rectangle and try to get it to line up with the bottom here. And I say that's a house. Of course, you can draw one however you want. And I'll also add a lake on this background. So I'll just set the color to blue and draw a little squiggle. And let's draw one more background. So I will paint a new one and make another green square. I think for this one, I'll do 3 houses on a street. And if you don't want to have to draw the house again, you can click on this background, and I'm gonna copy this house. To copy one shape, you could click on it and click copy, but we wanna copy all 3 shapes. So I will click on one part and then hold down Shift. And while I'm holding down Shift, click on the other 2 shapes. So now I've selected them all, and I will click copy, and then I'll go down to this background and click paste. And now I didn't have to draw the house again. So I'll put this over here, and you know what? I will paste another house and another one. And maybe I'll make them slightly different colors, so I can just click on any part of one of the houses and change the color up here. And you know what? I will paint one road. Okay, nice. Now we have 3 different locations for our town. The last thing I'll do is I'm just gonna name these backgrounds so that I can know which one is which when I'm coding them. Okay, now let's make it so the character can travel between them. There's actually a really easy way to do this, so let me show you. I'll choose another sprite, and I'm gonna add this arrow sprite. And now, let's make it so that when this sprite is clicked, it goes to the next backdrop. In the looks category, there's this block, next backdrop, and you can click on that to go to the next background. And I will get that when this sprite clicked block from the events category and put it on top. And now, if we press it, it goes to the next backdrop. And let's also add an arrow so that you can go to the previous background. I'll add another arrow sprite, and then I want it to flip directions, which you can do by going to the costumes tab and then clicking flip horizontal. And now let's go back to the code tab. Now, when this sprite is clicked, we want to go to the previous backdrop. And the way to do that is in the looks category, you can drag out this block, switch backdrop to, and in the menu, you can choose previous backdrop. And now this block makes you go to the backdrop before. And let's add the when this sprite clicked block on top again. And there you go. Now you can click this button to go forward and this button to go backward. Here's one thing. Right now, the unicorn shows up no matter what background you go to. Let's make it so the unicorn only appears at one of the backgrounds. So it's like, that's where the unicorn is in the town. So let's say the unicorn is by the lake. So we only want the unicorn to appear if we're at the lake background. Here's how you do that. In the looks category, there are these blocks, hide and show, and you can click them to make the unicorn appear or disappear. And then in the events category, there's this block, when backdrop switches to. And you can use this block to make a character do something when the background changes to a certain background. So, for example, I can make it so that when the backdrop switches to house and lake, the unicorn will appear, it will show up. So let's go there. Okay, yeah, now the unicorn appears when we go to the lake. And let's make it so that when we go to one of the other locations, the unicorn will hide, will disappear. So when the background switches to the path, I'll make the unicorn hide. And when the background switches to the houses and the path, I'll also make the unicorn hide. So now, if we travel between the backgrounds, the unicorn only shows up at the lake background. And so this is really helpful because now you can make a game where there are different characters at different locations and you can walk around and meet them all. Now, let's add one last thing. Let's make it so that the main character moves when you press the arrow keys so that the player really feels like they're walking around the town. I'll click on the main character so that we can add code to her. In the motion category, this block, change X by 10, will make a character move this way. If you don't already know, in Scratch, X represents how far a sprite is from this side of the screen to this side of the screen. So if you increase X by 10, if you change X by 10, the sprite will move this way. And if you change X by -10, the sprite will move this way because you're decreasing X. So that's how you can make a character move this way or that way. Let's make this happen when we press the right arrow key and the left arrow key. To do that, you can go to the Events category, and there's this really helpful block, when space key pressed. So this block can make something happen when a player presses a certain key. So instead of space key, let's pick right arrow key, and I'll put it on top of this change X by 10 block. And so now, when I press the right arrow key, Jordan moves this way, changes X by 10. And let's make it so that when I press the left arrow key, she goes this way, so change X by -10. Okay, nice. And let's do the same for going up and down. So going back to the motion category, so X represents how far a sprite is from this side of the screen to that side of the screen, and Y represents how high up a sprite is. So if I change Y by 10, she goes up, and if I change Y by -10, she'll go down. Let's drag out a when key pressed block and choose up arrow, and make the sprite go up when I press that. And drag out a when key pressed block and choose down arrow, and make the sprite go down when I click that. So now the character can move around with the arrow keys. So yeah, that's how you can make your own virtual town.
See, that's how you make this project. So you can make one by your own, or like this. So you can make one by your own, or choose a background. And how I did this typing thing is like this. You will have to click this backdrop, and then click over here, backdrop, and click over here the key, and you can type whatever you want, like this. Okay. So that's how you make a virtual town to yourself. And the link of Scratch is in the description below. You can click that link and make a creation of your own, a game of your own. And this thing has a lot of progress, I promise. It's a small game, but a lot of progress. So I hope you learned something new. I'll show you how I made this, but let's pick this. Scratch menu, program. Okay. Click this, create. What happened? Yes, create project. Okay, let's go to code. Okay, now this is like when stage clicked, switch to bedroom 2. For when stage clicked, switch to backdrop, switch backdrop to bedroom 2. Not for this one. When stage clicked for this one, this stage backdrop. When stage clicked, go to bedroom 2. Switch backdrop to bedroom 2. You know you have to click the purple house. That's why I made this. The purple house is smaller than this house. Sorry, I made some issues, so that's it. So first I saw this, and this is the first time I made my own background. Like I didn't know this. I didn't know how to make my own background when I saw this video. So I made my own background like this. And the path you can do also like this. Choose the color of the path. And then do like this. It's a more straight path, right? So I'm gonna do this like this and do another one here. Oh. Now the other side, and like this, and now can do the other one. So I make this straight line like this. Now you can't see the other one. That's how we make a straight line. And to erase this, I do this thing. With the eraser. Okay. I'll do this like 51. Not 51, more bigger. Yep, that's the eraser. And I'll erase this. I can make a virtual tab. How to make a story in Scratch. You'll see this and then end the video.
Hi everyone, it's Zoe from the Scratch team, also known as Zinnia. Today I wanted to show you how to make a story in Scratch. It can have any characters that you want and whatever scenes you want, and you can write all the dialogue. And yeah, by the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to create any story in Scratch. Let's get started. So first, let's pick a character to be the main character of your story. You can just hover over Choose a Sprite. If you wanted to draw your character, you could click Paint. If you wanted to upload a picture of your character, you could click Upload. Or if you wanted to choose one of the characters in Scratch, you could click Choose. And you can have any character that you'd like to have. I'll pick the princess, but maybe I'll rename the character. I'll name my main character Maya. And let's also add a backdrop for the first scene of our story. You can hover over Choose a Backdrop and click Choose, and pick a background for wherever you want the story to take place. Maybe I'll pick the forest background. To start your story, let's make your character say something. You can go to the Looks category and drag out a Say block, and they will say whatever's in here. So you can write in whatever you'd like your character to say. And let's put a When Green Flag Clicked block on top, because now, every time I click the green flag, the character says hello. Now, let's say you want to add another character to your story. You can just hover over Choose a Sprite again, and choose another character. Maybe I'll pick Gobo. And if you want this character to be facing your main character, you can just click on the Costumes tab, and click Flip Horizontal, and that will flip it. And now you can go back to the Code tab. Now, let's make this character have a conversation with the first character. So I will drag out another Say block, and I'll have Gobo say, Hi Maya. And I'll put a When Green Flag Clicked block on top, so that the conversation can start when the green flag is clicked. Okay, so they both talked, but I don't want them to both talk at the same time. Here's how I can make Gobo talk after Maya. I can go to the Control category and drag out a Wait block, and I'll put that above the Gobo's Say block. And Maya talks for 2 seconds, so I can make Gobo wait for 2 seconds before talking. Let's try that out. Okay, so Maya talks, and then Gobo waits and talks after Maya. There we go. And by the way, let's say Maya talked for 3 seconds, then I would just have to make Gobo wait for 3 seconds. So if you want a character to talk after another, they just have to wait for the same amount of time that the other character is talking. Let's say I want Maya to say something else after Gobo talks. I can go back to Maya and have Maya wait for 2 seconds while Gobo talks, and then maybe say, let's go to the city. Let's try that. There we go. So they go back and forth with one character waiting while the other one talks. So that's how you can make a conversation. Now, let's say I want to add another scene and make them go to the city. Here's how you do that. I can hover over Choose a Backdrop and click Choose. And I'll pick a background to be the city background. Maybe I'll pick this one. Now, after Maya says, let's go to the city, how can we switch to the city background? Well, in the Looks category, there's this block, Switch Backdrop, and we can just drag out Switch Backdrop to Colorful City. Let's try it out. Okay, she says, let's go to the city, and they go to the city backdrop. Now, let's try and restart the project. Okay. When the project starts, we want them to start at the forest background. So to do that, we just have to drag out another switch backdrop block and put a when green flag clicked block on top. And now, when the green flag is clicked, they go to the forest, and then they go to the city. There we go. Now, let's say you want to have a new character show up when they get to a certain scene. Here's how you can do that. I will hover over choose a sprite and choose a new character. Maybe I'll pick Giga. And we want Giga to appear when the characters get to the city. To make a character appear or disappear, there are these blocks in the looks category, hide and show. The block hide will make a character disappear, and the block show will make a character appear. And in the events category, there's this helpful block, when backdrop switches to. And with this block, you can make a character do a certain thing when the backdrop switches to a certain backdrop. So we want Giga to not be there when we're at the forest scene. So when the backdrop switches to forest, we can make Giga hide. Let's try that out. Okay, there we go. And when we get to the city scene, we want Giga to show up. So when the backdrop switches to colorful city, we can make Giga show. And there you go. That's how you can have a character appear in some scenes, but not all of the scenes. And now, by using these blocks, you can have certain characters that show up in certain scenes and other characters show up in other scenes, and you can make your story be exactly how you want it to be. Now, let's say you want Giga to say something when the characters get to the city. You could use the method I showed you earlier with the wait blocks and have Giga do this. When the green flag is clicked, wait 7 seconds while Maya and Gobo talk, and then say something. But it can be kind of annoying to count all the seconds that many different characters talk for. So I'm going to show you another way of making a conversation in Scratch. So let's say method 1 is using wait blocks. Method 2 is using broadcasts. So here's how the broadcast method works. You might already know this, but in case you don't, I'll explain. A broadcast in Scratch is like an invisible message that one character sends out, and then you can make other characters do something specific when they get that message. So when Maya finishes talking here, I can have Maya broadcast message 1. She sends out the invisible signal, message 1. And then if I click on Giga, I can say, when I receive message 1, I can make Giga say something like, welcome. So let's try that out. Maya says, let's go to the city, and she broadcasts message 1. And when Giga receives it, Giga says, welcome. Now, let's say I want Gobo to say something after Giga finishes talking. I just need to create a new message by clicking here. I'll call this message 2. And then Giga can broadcast message 2 when they finish talking. And then I'll go to Gobo, and for Gobo, I'll say, when I receive message 2, say, I like this place. I don't know. That sounds like what Gobo might say when they get to the city. So let's try that out. The princess talks, sends a message, and then Giga talks, and then Giga sends a message, and Gobo talks. So that's how you can do a conversation with broadcasts. Some people prefer doing it with wait blocks. Some people prefer doing it with broadcasts. Both of them always work. Personally, if I have just 2 characters, then I think the wait blocks works pretty well, but I have a hard time keeping track of the wait times if I have 3 characters or more, so then I usually use broadcasts. So yeah, with the things I showed you in this video, you can pretty much make any story. You can switch the backdrop and have different things happen at different backdrops and different characters talk to each other.
Now you can do whatever you want, like in Scratch. Scratch Designer, I'll show you in the next game. So, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!